Linn County Chair Brett Nilles, thank you for your leadership. And Iowa Democrats Chair Troy Price, thank you for your leadership and incredible patience during this season. If you remember one thing I say tonight, it is this. In fact, I'd say if you want to remember one thing that anybody says tonight, it is this. If we have the discipline to run our national races the same way Abby Finkenauer ran her race here, we will beat Donald Trump and win a majority in the United States Senate. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. That is the truth. When I was decided to run for president, I went home to talk to my family about it. Susan and I are raising 3 daughters, Caroline, Helena, and Ann, and the youngest is Ann. She's 14, or she was when we were having this conversation. And she immediately said, yes, Dad, you should run for president. And I was a little taken aback because I didn't know she paid any attention to my policy positions or cared about my service to the country. But the longer we talked, the more it became clear that she just saw it as an opportunity for me to be out of the house and away from her. And I have no doubt that she's burning the place down tonight in Denver while I'm here with all of you. But my daughter Caroline, who's 20 and the oldest, said, Dad, if you run for president and you tell the truth and you lose, no one can fault you for it. And I said to her, Caroline, that's good because there is no other reason for me to run and there is no other way for me to win. And I was really gratified a month or two ago when the Des Moines Register, after my editorial board meeting with them, ran a headline on an editorial that said, Michael Bennet pounds truth into this campaign. And at the end of that editorial, it said, Iowans, even if you pick somebody else, you should take another look at Bennet because he seems to have a pretty good diagnosis of what's gone wrong and what we have to do. So I want to tell you a little bit of truth tonight, Linn County. In just over a year, we get to send Donald Trump back to Mar-a-Lago permanently. Let's have just a quick recap of just last week. He awarded the G7 to his own failing hotel in Florida, which led me to wonder, what's next? Are we going to throw Germany out of NATO if Angela Merkel doesn't buy a timeshare at Mar-a-Lago? Trump said, foreign policy is what I'll be remembered for. He's got that right. I guarantee you this, the Kurds will never forget. Not the soldiers who fought beside us to destroy ISIS, only to be abandoned because Trump was afraid to stand up to Turkey's Erdogan, and Erdogan got all the territory that he wanted. We need to stand up to tyrants here and abroad. And that's why we need to make America, America again. To do that, we need to focus on the enormous challenges that led to Trump's election to begin with. 9 million people, it's hard to believe this, 9 million people voted twice for Barack Obama and once for Donald Trump. In Iowa alone, 30 counties flipped from Obama to Trump. 9 million people were so fed up with our broken politics and with being ignored and being lied to by politicians out of touch with their daily struggles that they literally voted for a guy who said he could get away with shooting somebody on Fifth Avenue. But we're not going to trick those people into voting for us with free stuff, with unfunded programs, or more empty promises. I'm the only candidate in this race who's won 2 national elections in a swing state in the middle of the country. Nobody else has done it. So I can tell you, we aren't going to win if we become the party of coastal elites, debating policies that make most Americans scratch their heads and wonder whether we even tried to think about what they needed or what their families or children wanted. Instead, we need to tell the truth. We need to heal our divisions, and we have to drive economic opportunity across every region of this country. Just as I do in Colorado, we need to say the same things in the primary that we say in the general election. The same thing in urban parts of this country that we say in rural parts of this country. And Iowa, that is why I'm running for president. When it comes time for you to caucus, you know it's important to nominate someone that has a vision that can inspire a broad coalition to actually beat Trump. This is what that looks like. An economy that works for everybody, not just the top 10%, and instead, through my tax plan, cuts childhood poverty by 40% in this country in just 2 years, ends $2 a day poverty for children in America. That would be worth doing. A public option that finishes Obamacare so we can cover everyone in 3 years and cut costs, including for prescription drugs. That's not Medicare for all, and that makes a difference. That's a policy other folks have proposed without admitting that the only way to do it is to raise taxes on the middle class. I admire Bernie's candor about that. And it's important to know that last time, 39 out of 40 Democratic candidates who flipped seats in 2018 and gave us the House supported a public option, not Medicare for all. Almost every single one. And as the only school superintendent to ever run for president, I can tell you, thank you, I can tell you, instead of pandering and promising free college, we need to achieve free preschool in this country for every kid who needs it, and that's every kid in America. If only preschoolers voted, our agenda would be so much stronger and so much more relevant to working families in this country. We need to ensure that the 70% of kids who graduate from high school but don't go to college can earn a living wage when they graduate from high school, not just the minimum wage. And speaking of the minimum wage, we need to pay our teachers like they are the professionals that they are if we have any hope of closing the achievement gap in America. An approach to the climate crisis bold enough to work and powerful enough to last a generation, because you can't fix climate 2 years at a time and then have the other side rip it up. That's not progress. Our kids need us to do better than that. We need to fix our politics to get there. And that's a return to government of, by, and for the people. End partisan gerrymandering in this country. I have the bill to do it. Ban members of Congress from ever becoming lobbyists. I have the bill to do it. Make sure every single American has access and the ability to vote in every single election. I have the bills to do it. And if I'm elected president, with your help, I'll go across the country campaigning in every single of the 50 states to pass a constitutional amendment to overturn Citizens United, to get the money out of politics and put people back in. It is not more complicated than that, Linn County. If we run on this vision, not only will we win the White House and send Mitch McConnell packing, but we will drive opportunity. We will preserve our democracy and secure our children's future and America's role in the world. Iowa Democrats, I need your help. and I'm asking for your support. Join our campaign and go to michaelbennet.com and let's kick this guy out of the White House and move the country forward and give our children the future that they deserve. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for having me tonight. Thank you for how seriously you're taking this process. It means the world to me and my family that you've invited us into your state and into your home. Thank you for having me tonight. Good night.